Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. She claims the sounds her fiancé makes
munching, crunching, chewing noises
drive her crazy.
The thoughts in my head, if I had an ice pick, I would put it through his jaw.
It doesn't bother you when the pigs make the noise.
No, different noises. Their jaws don't crack.
You've had opportunities to deal with this.
Well, I have dealt with it.
You would argue with a fence post, wouldn't you? Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. Well, today's story tells the all too frequent tale of a 1- and 4-year-old who are left caught in the middle of a heated domestic dispute. Because of their ages, I did not fly them to LA, but instead sent a crew to film them back home. Meet Hammy and Bowie, two pot-bellied pigs. Now, most of us know that pigs make a lot of noise, right? Especially when they eat. But Anne-Marie says that her pet pigs are nothing compared to the slurping, munching, crunching, chewing, jaw-cracking noises of her soon-to-be husband, Jimmy. Noises that he makes when he's eating. Just a few days ago, Jimmy called their engagement off. Says Anne-Marie is a lunatic who just may be sensitive to sound, but needs to be far more sensitive to him before they go through with this marriage. Take a look.
The sounds that my fiancé makes drive me crazy. His jaw cracks, and it makes a lot of noise.
It doesn't matter what product I eat, something as simple as a bagel.
Sounds like he's chewing on rocks. It's grotesque.
I don't know I'm disturbing you when my jaw cracks. I don't know when my jaw cracks.
What you do now, when he eats, I get this immediate reaction of anger.
It's not only the jaw clicking, it's the actual chewing. Like a pretzel or a potato chip. It makes her crazy. She starts screaming, "You're a jerk. You're an ass."
The thoughts that come into my head, if I had an ice pick, I would put it right through his jaw.
In the house, we don't eat dinner together. As soon as I see him start to eat, I go in the other room. We went to a hockey game the other night. Jimmy was having a soft pretzel. You can't hear anything at a hockey game, but just seeing the motion of his jaw, I had to turn the other way.
Just last week, we went for brunch, and I had ordered a bagel. My jaw was cracking. The fork and the knife went down onto the plate, and she went straight up.
You're so cute when you eat with that nose. We have 2 pot-bellied pigs. This is Hammy, and then we have Bowie. When the piggies are eating, the sound doesn't bother me at all. I say, will you please stop eating like a pig? And it's funny because I wish he would eat like a pig.
Since we got engaged in December and moved in together, it's putting a wedge between us.
Last night was a knockdown, drag out between Jimmy and myself.
I couldn't take it anymore, and I spent the night packing up my things and put them in my truck.
He told me he wanted the ring back. I put the ring in the box, and I walked out the door.
I can't marry into this. There's no way I can live like this.
Okay. I'm here to help you as a couple, right?
Well, more so me with my neurological disorder. That's what misophonia, that's what I've read that it is. It's a neurological disorder.
That's what Dr. Google told you.
Yes, correct. And everything on the internet is true, so yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I have to disagree. You're not here just for her. You're here for both of us. I'm the target.
But mostly it's
Right.
because we're here to, I need help getting this under control.
You two refused to travel together coming here. Was it you that refused or Jimmy
No,
refused?
it was him. It was him that refused.
You refused to travel with her.
His
I did.
overrode situation.
You saw the pigs. We had to have the pigs boarded. And after we dropped off the pigs, we went for lunch. I grabbed the after dinner mint. After lunch, I cracked it in my jaw in the car. And the explosion started.
No, the explosion started because I was on the phone and You know what my issue is, hon. You
Well,
know.
That's not exactly where it started. We went
me...
into the diner, and they seated us near where the busboy cleans plates and he was throwing the plates in. That was the first disturbance. She had to have a table moved.
Right, because it was very loud. So we walked all the way to the back of the restaurant. We sat in a nice booth. It was quiet, and everything was fine. And then we started, we ordered dinner, blah, blah, blah.
Then he had to eat it.
Yeah, he had to eat it. Okay, so...
Son of a bitch.
Of all things, I hit the salad bar, and the salad bar crunches. What can I...
So we just need to get you a feeding tube, and we're done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right?
No,
okay, there's other things that he can't do, too.
The top of the pyramid is my jaw. Then it comes to chewing.
Well, that's what I mean. A feeding tube, you're not chewing, you're not swallowing. It's just straight into the gut, you're done.
Well, you can't walk with a pair of flip-flops. Can't throw a spoon in the sink. Can't.
That's got nothing to do with you.
Well, it's part of the...
But you say that this is your issue, that you need help with this, what you call neurological disorder.
Right.
But yet the entire time we're doing the pre-interview with you, you're talking about his problems, how his jaw pops, how he makes noises when he chews, how he does this, he does that.
Because
so
you're
not saying, you didn't say, I need help with my reaction to his stimuli. You said, he is annoying, he does these things. You spend all of your time criticizing what he does, not talking about your perception in reaction to what he does.
Well, it is my reaction. I believe I told some of the people that I spoke to, from the show that, yes, I need to get my reaction under control. I need to get the way that I feel and the way that I perceive those sounds to a calming level where I don't react violently to that.
This has been going on since you were 6, 8 years old, right?
About 10. I was about 10 years old when it first happened. My sister was 6.
Let's just put it this way. This has been going on a long time. This isn't something...
46 years.
So you've had many opportunities to deal with this, and you have not. Why?
Because, well, I have dealt with it. Okay.
Oh, well,
I have seen therapists. Please don't do that. I've seen therapists.
Which what you want me not doing?
Just say, oh, okay.
Well,
we're
then
done.
don't be dismissive of what I'm saying to you. Don't tell me what to do.
Well, you said to me that I've dealt with it, okay? And
Okay, wait a minute. We're going to get, let's just jump to.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Read what I've written in red at the bottom of that page.
I don't have any glasses.
You want me to read it to you? You can read it out loud.
Yes, what you wrote there is incorrect, though. Yeah. That's your thought, but that's not how I think.
Well, just so we let the rest of the world in on it, this comes with a great mindset of entitlement. It's akin to road rage. What makes her think she is entitled to the world conforming to her expectations? She believes everyone should stop making unbelievable noises every day living and do what she wants them to do, stop annoying her. Has she ever stopped to think, what about her annoys the rest of the world? Who does she think she is? We learn to make allowances for people, and her intolerance is nothing more than a mask for an unhealthy need to control and unrealistic expectations.
Well, that's not true.
You think that has no part of this? You think that has no part of this?
No.
You just told me, please don't do that.
No, I didn't say it like that, but... This is a very painful disorder.
While you may have an underlying misophonia, that you, in fact, have an expectancy for him to conform to certain things, for your sister to conform to certain things, that gives you an entitlement to respond in anger instead of saying, I have an issue, I have a problem, and I am very grateful that they're willing to be tolerant of me in this way until I get this worked out. That's not your attitude. Your attitude is, I'm going to drive an ice pick through his jaw.
I don't know how to control it. Can you help me on how I can control that?
Yeah, if you don't try to tell me what to tell you. Jimmy says Anne-Marie is so sensitive to sound that unless things change, There's one sound she will never get to hear, and that's the sound of wedding bells. We'll be right back.
To me, humans can control their action. Animals can't. Well, right now I'm down to 3 dogs. I have 2 cats, the 2 pigs, and a pair of parakeets.
Come on, get in. Let's go. It's kind of relaxing because it's part of nature.
You can't expect humans to know that you have this behavioral disorder.
But there's manners. People need to have manners.
It's not just Jimmy's noises that get to me. There's a lot of different triggers.
If there's somebody cracking gum, I will run to the other end of the store. Dentures clicking together.
Certain people, when they swallow,
Hear somebody with flip-flops walking. Now I will say something, really, do you have to walk like that, you fat cow?
when somebody puts a lollipop in their mouth and they hit their teeth with a lollipop, I just want to get up and punch them.
Okay, Jimmy says he's called off his engagement to his fiancée, Anne Marie, just this weekend. Why? Well, Jimmy says he can no longer live in fear of making specific noises that trigger a tirade of abuse. Now, let me say something to all of you for a second. I believe that really all behaviors, all reactions, all sensitivities are on a continuum. Now, you are on a far end of this continuum of hypersensitivity to certain sounds, right?
Yes.
But for example, let me ask everybody here in the audience, aren't there certain sounds that drive you crazy? Like maybe it's fingernails on a magazine, or fingernails on a chalkboard, or a fork against somebody's teeth. There are certain sounds that really grate on you, right? Now, imagine if many sounds or all sounds had that effect on you, how miserable that would be. So we all have that. It's just a matter of degree.
This brings up an anger out,
Yeah,
and,
and therein
I
comes,
need to react.
Yeah, therein comes the entitlement issue and the rage issue. Now,
But
what are the
reaction
triggers?
has become accelerated.
Oh, yeah, it's
gotten
gaining
worse,
momentum.
yeah.
And here are the triggers. Jimmy's jaw cracking, finger licking or sucking, talking with mouth open or eating, slurping, crunching, chewing, rustling chips in packets, cutlery hitting teeth, lollipops or hard candy hitting teeth, pills hitting teeth, dentures chomping together, picking fingernails, pin clicking, click, 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 flip-flops, plates banging.
Keyboard,
Yeah.
banging on a keyboard.
Oh, you don't like that one?
Relentless. No.
Okay.
Relentless.
Where does it end?
Keyboard banging.
And
And why? Why do these sounds affect me like that? Why?
okay,
Why
we'll,
can't I
we'll
just,
get to
why
that.
can't I be normal like everybody else?
Okay,
that
now
they
let me
don't
ask you
bother?
something. As you look at this, how many of these noises do you make?
I make them all.
Okay.
And that's the weird part, that why can I do that and it doesn't bother me? Why does it bother me when other people do it?
Okay, and so when you read Dr. Google, you read that there is a neurological interaction between certain parts of the brain and your limbic system, which come together and create this reaction in you, right?
That's what Dr. Google said, yes.
Yeah. Okay. But this
And
doctor didn't go on and say, therefore you should do A, B, or C.
Well, I just found a couple of books that we ordered to read about it, and I didn't get to that part. I didn't even get the book yet to read about how to help it. I was contacted by your show, and I was very excited that I can come here and meet you, and you could guide me and help me.
Yeah.
You know, find out why do I react this way.
To me, the question shouldn't be why these things bother you, but why the entitlement to attack.
It's not an entitlement, hon. I don't feel an entitlement.
No, you do give yourself permission.
It's a reaction.
How do you explain the fact that it's situation specific?
It's sound specific.
No,
I
it
hear
doesn't
it.
bother you when the pigs make the noise.
No, different noises.
You would argue with a fence post, wouldn't you? Now, listen, this is not the first time I've dealt with this. Now, you're self-diagnosed. Nobody's diagnosed you with misophonia, correct?
Correct.
You've just self-diagnosed.
Well, you had a show on in the past.
Yeah, all right, here it is. I often talk about the guests on the show as teaching tools, and several years ago, Anne-Marie's mother saw an episode on extreme sensitivities and told her that she had all the symptoms of a certain disease, a condition known as misophonia. This is just a little piece of it.
Anytime I hear natural human sounds like chewing, smacking, it just makes me angry.
Sydney hates to hear the sound of clipping nails, eating. If I clear my throat like, she gets pretty upset.
I can't stand the sound that Michael makes when he eats.
What does he do that bugs you the most?
Chewing, swallowing.
You said eating, chewing, swallowing, smacking, chewing gum, snoring, loud breathing, whispering, coughing, yawning.
He could be using perfectly good manners, but I can hear the food in his mouth like moving around as he's chewing, and it just disgusts me.
Do you know what misophonia is?
Hatred of sound.
It's an abnormally strong negative reaction of the autonomic and the limbic system to specific soft sounds. Do you get that it's not normal?
Very much. It's completely illogical. I want to change it more than anything.
Yep. That's exactly it.
If this is neurological, which means your brain and portions of your brain are causing you to have a reflexive reaction to it, then that means it's involuntary. How do you explain the fact that it's situation specific?
Situation specific. I don't know that it's situation, it's sound specific.
No.
That's how I hear it.
It doesn't bother you when the pigs make the noise.
Well, maybe we could say it's human specific, not animal specific.
That would be situation.
Okay.
If it's in the yard with the pigs, that bothers you. You would argue with a fence post, wouldn't you?
I should have been a lawyer, right?
No, because lawyers work to resolve things.
Okay.
The person that you love and are committed to and want to spend the rest of your life with, you don't make allowances for him, but you do make allowances for the pigs. Same noises.
No, different noises. Their jaws don't crack. They don't cut their fingernails. They don't pick. They don't do things. And I know that the reactions that I have, or the sounds that trigger me to react, are all done by humans. And that's everyday living. But it's the reaction that I have to those sounds and triggers that I need to get under control.
So you figured this all out. So why are you here?
No, I don't have it figured out.
Well, no, but you're telling me that you have this all figured out. You're saying, no, it's not that, it's this. There's specific things, and I've got these, and I've got to get those figured out, and it's not that, you're wrong about this, you're wrong about that, you're wrong about this. I've got this all figured out. So just tell me what I need to hear, what I want to hear, and then we'll go home. And please get right to it, because I'm in a hurry.
I'm hurting, that's for sure.
She says the pigs don't make the same noise. It's the exact same noise. Pigs crunch food. I crunch food. Humans crunch food.
It's a different sound to me. I hear it differently coming from a human than I hear it from an animal.
Well, let me ask you, is there any possibility, just go down hypothetical highway with me for a minute.
Surely.
Is there any possibility that my observation that this could be situation specific, where a certain guttural sound or chewing sound in one scenario bothers you, but in another scenario doesn't, suggests that you have some control over it other than just a neurological reflex?
Yeah, sure.
So actually, the observation of entitlement might actually have some role here. I feel entitled to express it with people I'm close to, but not with people I'm not.
I don't know. Well, entitlement, yes, okay. Or feel more that I can get away with. Not that I'm allowed to or I should be allowed to do that I should be entitled to do that.
Well, if you want to spend your time here playing semantics, we can, but I'd rather get to fixing this. But if you want to be a right fighter and play semantics, we can.
If you did it with a stranger, you'd get your block knocked off.
So with all of these sensitivities to noise, what effect is it having on their relationship on a day-to-day basis? Intimacy, companionship, sharing, all of those sort of things. What are the stakes for which we're playing? That has an impact on this as well. We'll be right back.
We don't sleep together in the same room because my jaw may make noise while I'm sleeping.
There is also the issue with his jaw clicking during intimacy. So I've pulled back from being intimate with him. This is the master bedroom.
If I walk in eating something, she throws me out of here.
He goes in the guest room. So this is the room the retreat.
This is my sanctuary where I can be comfortable that I'm not going to be attacked.
Well, Anne-Marie says her sensitivity to sound dominates her everyday life, and her fiance, Jimmy, agrees. Now, I wrote down some of the things that you say. Fat cow, pick up your feet, disgust, startle, I have to defend myself, shout, mouth disgusts me, punched her in the arm and shoved her, sister wore shoes that made noise, I want to stab him, anger, fat pig, I'm selective. You guessing those are yours or his?
Mine.
Those are yours. Now here's his internal dialogue. Getting worse, live in fear, so sensitive, end of my rope, abusive rage, reaction is indescribable, walk on eggshells, I swear I see her head spin around. Okay? So that's your internal dialogue is in red, his is in blue. So be empathetic for a minute and see what he's saying to himself. He's looking at you right now and say, since she'll start screaming, drives Anne-Marie crazy, abusive rage, reactions indescribable, outrageous, eggshells. So he's living just waiting for things to blow up. Yep. And you, on the other hand, disgust, startled, disgust, anger, stab. I mean, you're angry and he's on the defense.
Yes, and I feel bad that he has to live, that he lives that way with me. He doesn't have to. I mean, he doesn't have to be here. But I feel bad that he has to go through that, or that he does go through that. I don't want him to go through that. I don't want that to be the way we live.
Aside from sounds, how you like him?
I think he's a great guy. He's funny, he's handsome.
Mm-hmm. How does he treat you?
From my opinion, not fabulous. He doesn't treat me great. I feel that he disrespects me. He calls me names. He calls my parents names. He's got a violent temper. There's a whole list of things that he has some issues with alcohol that disrupt our relationship also.
Now, and I'm not going to give you a chance to respond to that because it doesn't really matter right now. If I could say something, this is kind of a conscious level, and what we often talk about because they're safe are topics. What we don't talk about below the line because they're not safe are issues. Topics are what I call the damn dailies. Issues are what I call the underlying, really core elements upon which the foundation of a relationship is built. And if you've got problems at an issue level, it's kind of like having your psychological skin burned. We've all had a sunburn, you know, where if your back's burned and somebody comes up and just says, "Hey, Emery, how's it going?" You, "Oh, whoa," it hurts. Just a little tap like that would hurt. But if you didn't, somebody would come along and do that, say, "Hey, how's it going?" You, "Oh, fine, how are you?" No reaction at all. It's only when your psychological skin is burned, it becomes hypersensitive, that every little thing, even your shirt rubbing against you, just really is painful and makes you hypersensitive.
Correct.
So if this is a problem, but yet you don't feel safe talking about that,
Right. Yep.
but you do feel safe talking about this, then you can adopt a strategy that is get them before they get me. And one way to do that is to find fault with other people, to keep them at arm's length, and then you don't ever have to deal with the issues. Now, Anne-Marie says her first marriage ended because of her psycho behavior, and she's prepared to go to any lengths to stop history from repeating itself. Now, I have some thoughts on this, and Jimmy is going to have to answer what he's willing to do to get this from the topic level to the issue level, and I'm going to have some very specific assignments for both of these two when we get back. Closed captioning provided by
46 years I've been dealing with this.
I found out my problem was a real life problem about 5 years ago. I'm still very embarrassed to tell people the name of it because it sounds phony, misophonia.
I didn't know it was a diagnosable affliction. I just thought it was an idiosyncrasy, something you could shake.
I ordered a book and reading on the internet about, they've discovered it's a real behavioral disorder.
As a stupid carpenter, it's above my pay grade, way above.
By the way, not a diagnosis. It's not in the DSM-5. It's not a mental illness. It's just a thing.
Right.
It is it's a real phenomenon. It does occur to a significant degree. It has a definition, and the definition is it's an abnormally strong negative reactions, annoyance and rage, to specific soft sounds, typically eating and breathing. Now, it can expand to more than that, but that's usually included. It's also known as selective sound sensitivity. It's really common among those that have obsessive compulsive disorder or obsessive compulsive personality, anxiety disorders, Tourette syndrome. It's kind of comorbid with other disorders that are recognized as mental illness. Let me ask you something. Are you committed to this relationship?
No. I love Anne-Marie. And I've said, I took back the engagement ring because I'm mostly out of fear. There's love, but then there has to be life. I'm just a working guy. I don't know what diagnosis is from doctors and stuff, whether this stuff can be helped.
Dr. Phil, when you said that there's topics, and then under that are the issues that can't be talked about. I felt a relief when you said that because there are issues
the drinking, the rage, the name calling, the disrespect for me, the disrespect to my parents, okay? What you do in the house, what you don't do in the house, how you dismiss my opinions, how you don't speak to me, how you ignore me. Whenever we have a fight and you disappear and you go pick up another woman, those could be the things. The fact that you're not committed to this relationship because you're committed to those things that make you happy, which are your drinking, your philandering, spending money like it's water, that those are the things that make you happy. That's why you're not committed to this relationship.
This started years before you ever met him.
That is correct.
And so those are
My issues with him.
Those are your current issues.
Correct.
I believe that we generate the results in life that we believe we deserve. And when you let things happen and you don't deal with them, then your self-worth and your self-esteem cycles down. And you think, I'll just be irritated and annoyed at things, but I'm never going to step up and give a voice to what's really hurt me, what's really left me with open wounds in my life, where I've really disappointed myself for not standing up for myself, for not being my own best friend. And, you know, Robin says it better than I could ever say it, and that is that you've got to take care of yourself before you can ever take care of anybody else, that you've got to take care of yourself and not feel selfish about it. And until you give yourself permission to do that, then you're in this purgatory of pecking away at insignificant things that have become so dominant in your life. And when you deal with significant issues, then you don't need the insignificant focuses to justify what's happened to you. We'll be right back, and I'm going to tell Emery what I think she needs to do. We'll be right back. Anne-Marie says she finds it impossible to ignore her fiancé Jimmy's slurping, chewing, crunching, munching, clicking, picking, and his other nauseating noises. I say that has nothing to do with what's going on here. I say those are really deflections. They're topics. Jimmy just said, if you weren't constantly pecking at me, nagging at me, giving me hell about these things, then I wouldn't run out the door looking to go get drunk or find some other woman. Sorry, that doesn't work. I mean, sounds good if you say it real fast, but how old are you?
I'll be 55 next week.
55. Well, let me tell you, when you get to be 55, there's nobody responsible for what you do but you.
Thank you.
If you don't like the situation, you either fix it or leave. But drinking and womanizing, let me tell you, you never fix a problem in a relationship by turning away from your partner. You certainly never fix it by bringing in some third party, some interloper, some
Barfly.
Barfly.
Consciously, I don't barge out with that intention.
Maybe you
What,
do.
you meant to fill up the car and you wound up...
I'm talking about in the attack, when I'm attacked for the jaw crunching or
Right.
something like that.
Oh, great. She's attacking me, so let me
Yeah,
take
go-
advantage of that situation so I can
It's
go
not
get
my
loaded
intention
and
to take advantage of it.
and
Yeah. Well, look, that's not a solution here. I mean, she is responding irrationally, no question about it. Go hooking up and is not going to fix it. And if you want to be with somebody else, go be with somebody else. And it might be, you might have a very nice woman that you want to meet. And, If you do, great,
Doubt
more
it.
power to you, but leave her alone. Closed captioning provided by... Here's the thing. You have to decide that and acknowledge that you have open wounds.
I do.
Is there a neurological component to this? Very likely. And there is treatment for that. Interestingly enough, one of the most effective treatments is a sonar type therapy that actually involves sound. But the first thing you have to do is decide, I deserve to put myself at the top of the priority list and resolve these issues that I've been running from. There's a place that I have great confidence in because I have great success with these people across many, many years, and it's a place called Onsite. And they're in the rolling hills just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. And this is a worldwide leader in intensive workshops and treatment specializing in emotional trauma and mental health issues. Right now, this engagement is in the called off stage. I recommend that it remain just that way until both of you are flying straight and level and you have an opportunity to see where things are. You may decide this is not something for which you want to settle. You may decide you want to raise your game and make a more serious commitment here. And I can tell you, if she listens to me and does what I'm wanting her to do, the price of poker to get in the Anne Marie game is going to be much higher than it has been in the past.
Thank you.
And you're not going to be pecked at the way you have in the past either. So things are going to be much different. But I will make this available to you.
Absolutely.
If you want to do it.
Yes.
We'll fly you there. We'll make all the arrangements for it.
Yep.
All you've got to do is show up and lean into it.
Thank you.
Fair enough? Okay? All right. Me too. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Miles Adcox and Onsite for offering to help Anne Marie. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, Fill in the Blanks. And you probably know by now, I also have a new podcast series, Analysis of Murder by Dr. Phil. Both of them are free, and you can find them on Apple Podcast app. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.